All right. So I guess now you understand what the plan was.
Absolutely. At Colts Law, we talk Indianapolis Colts football.
We're going to stick to what we know, fundamentals and technique, 1% better every day.
What's going on, Colts Nation? I'm Lawrence Owen. With me, as usual, is my guy, Blam! Loyalist. And today, I know it's a day late, but, our game shows up a day late today, and that is the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to Lucas Oil Stadium to face our Indianapolis Colts on Monday Night Football. Loyalist, what's your initial thoughts about this game?
Well, going into this season, I was ecstatic to see this game, and everything. But as the season's gone on now, it's like, I'm glad they can't flex us out of this game, because both teams are sort of struggling right now to find their path and stuff. But I'll tell you right now, you sit there and you look where these things match up and stuff, and I think it could be a very exciting game when it's all said and done.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's a bunch of stuff that I actually want to get into. But before we do, obviously, I am going to talk about, the injury report, because we have one. Yes, we do. And we need to talk about that injury report because that injury report has quite a bit to say about this specific game. Let's go ahead and get into the Indianapolis Colts injury report. Is long, but it's because that illness from last week carried over to this week. And now we have a pandemic on our hands sitting here with a bunch of guys dealing with the illness all week. We got Kylan Granson, who's missed due to illness. We have Paris Campbell, but he's been back in full practice, so that's great. Matt Pryor, he's been full practice all week. I'm glad to hear about that, him coming back from the hospital. Dennis Kelly must have caught it from Matt Pryor. And Zaire Franklin did not practice because of illness just today. Okay, so that's a huge because it seems like guys miss about 3 days due to this illness. Okay, so that's a little bit of a worry. So we got some questionable sitting here. Yannick Ngakoue right now is questionable. He's got a back problem. He did not practice on Saturday. But then again, he's been dealing with a back problem for the last few weeks, and he's played, even though he's been questionable in these games. Another person that's questionable for the Indianapolis Colts, Kwity Paye, has not practiced yet. But they have him as questionable to go in. I'm going to get to you in just a moment about that. And then Deforest Buckner, he's been with the illness all week as well. But he had a full practice today, but he's still questionable. Now, driving back to Kwity Paye, who has not practiced in some time.
Yeah.
Back with the ankle, and yet he's questionable? What's up with that, you think?
Well, I mean, he's improving. He's getting closer. Thing is I was shocked. I'll be honest. When, you sit there and you see how the injury report was shaking out all week, I mean, and it was like, okay, it's not looking like Kwitty's going to be eligible. But then to just sit there and see these questionable, I mean, I would imagine at best what you could hope for is maybe a limited pitch count type of situation. I mean, it's really, I don't know. I guess, is it just a strength thing? Where is Jeff Saturday? And that's the thing. We don't know where these decisions, at what level they're being made as far as what his track record is. Reich, you knew what you got with Reich, extra cautious and stuff. Where's Jeff with that? And the thing is you layer that with the Yannick Ngakoue situation and stuff. And I mean, it's just like, man, this could be very questionable. Oh, yeah. And then Deforest Buckner, I think he was also dealing with a rib along with the illness. You know what I mean? So I'm sitting here thinking, okay, if he's coughing or sneezing, imagine that rib is having a rough week as well. So it's just like it was good to see nobody on there, but it was also pretty surprising.
Absolutely. Now I'm going to bring up a couple people comments in here. First off, I'm going to bring up Deep Patel. What the Heinz are you wearing, Law? I had to show it off to my boy. It's the Heinz over heels, just because. right? Just because I'm like, you know what? I miss him. He's not getting the snaps that he was hoping for over in Buffalo. And if you want to come back, my guy, we're right here. All right. Just saying. And then Joey B says, I'm not trying to be negative, but serious question. Why do we want to win more games just to get a mid-draft pick? We want a higher draft pick and try to get the future for the quarterback that we've been missing. I want our team to win every week, every single week. Look, the draft will fall where it falls. Okay. If we need to move up for a quarterback, and that's the situation, we have the resources already to do so. Not just with a first round pick, but a second round pick, couple third round picks, and we got players we can trade. We have we have 15 Pro Bowlers on this team. 15. Okay. We have guys that we could trade off if we absolutely need to add to go get a quarterback. If that quarterback is someone that, Ballard really likes and wants to move on with. It just depends upon who's there, where, and when. That's the way I see it. But I will never root for my team to lose. Ever. Ever. I don't care if we're 2-14 and there's a team out there that hasn't won a single game. I will still root on that last game for our team to win, because that's what I am. I am a fan, and I want my team to win.
I get that. And I'll be honest with you, this was one that had me really digging deep. And I know what you're saying, but I also understand Joey Baggs' point. You sit there and you figure you were talking about a first, a second, a third. Well, let's remember, the better draft you get, now your capital improves on all rounds. You know what I mean? So now you got to figure, you look at that 3-win window, and there's like 6 to 8 teams in there right now, and it's like, I understand you, if you could sit there and say you improve 7 spots each round, and I know that's where it's like, I'm rooting for my team, but it'll help the team, so I'm really torn on that. But when it comes down to game time, I don't want to sit there and watch these guys go out and look. Honestly, what we've seen a couple of times this year, where they just look lackluster. I don't want to see that. I want to see the culture. You've got to keep setting that tone. And the thing is, Saturday's brought. I know last week hurt. I know. So much so. But the thing is I just want the guys to come out, and who knows? Let's see what happens and stuff. Because do you really want to go into the next 6-7 weeks of Sundays going, yay, let's lose? I'm not there. Like I said, I'll admit, though, I put a lot of thought into it on Monday and Tuesday, because I understand the draft capital and stuff and the improvement that you can get. But in all, it just boils down to, what do you want your team to represent? What is it that and I know it's naive or whatever you want to call it, because I'm having a rough time with it this year especially. But I'm like Lawrence. I really do want the team to go out and put a good, especially, guys, we've been clamoring for these primetime games. This is Monday night effing football, It's like, this is a primetime game where you're putting out an image nationwide. We keep saying we want more respect. How much respect you're going to get if you go out there and just stink it up for 4 quarters? I know what Joey Baggs says. I understand it deeply, but that's where I'm at.
We did not have, so we didn't even make the playoffs last year, and yet we were 3-4 or 4-5 in primetime games last year, which is the reason why we got 3 or 4 this year. Depending upon the to be determined one that we have later on this year. That's because we won those games. Like you said, you don't want to come in and stink up on a primetime game.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So far this year, we're 1-1 in primetime. We won our Thursday night football game against the Broncos. Didn't look good doing it, but we won. That's all that matters. Okay. You absolutely, obviously these players, the coaches, they're out there trying to do their best. Right. And you want these guys, you don't want them having a losing mentality anyhow. Right. You start losing, it's hard to get out of that losing mentality. And so you don't want your team to sit here and go on a 6-game loss, because that will carry over to next year. Okay. That will carry over. It's hard to get out of something like that. Ask any player, any coach. They will tell you that. All right. even with a brand new quarterback you still got all the old dogs, that are sitting in that team, so that's the situation. You want to win, especially primetime games. That's just how I've got it. Now I'm going to jump into the injury report for the Steelers coming up, and wow, they are better off than we are. Okay. Now they've got a few guys that have not practiced or had full practices. What we've got available right now, Akello Witherspoon, a cornerback, is out with a hamstring. Jalen Warren, their running back, is out with a hamstring. Now, obviously, that's not their starter. That's Najee Harris. He's fine. Rob Spillane has a back issue. The linebacker, he's questionable. And then Miles Boykin is also questionable right now. So they're fine. They got 2 guys out, which we don't even have anybody listed as out. We just have like 3 questionables. So which is nice. They got 2 guys out, but overall they're just a healthier team on paper.
Yeah, and I will tell you right now, Jalen Warren, I know he's not their starter, but he really early in the season was helping them keep this offense moving. So that is a bit of a hit. But like you said, Najee, they still got Najee. And Najee has really seemed to start finding his rhythm over the last couple weeks, which, we got in our Discord, we've got Joe Mama, who's a Steelers fan, and he's hating that fact because he just got him off of his fantasy team. But that's the thing, Najee is just really starting to get those all-purpose. I think it was at 99 2 weeks ago, and then another 90 against the Bengals this last week. So, he's starting to get that rhythm, and I really hope that this defense can take that away because, they've got a young receiver that, is special, I think, and that's in Pickens. Pickens out there, you really want to have resources towards him because, to me, he's like that real hungry young player, and has a similar style to an AJ Brown almost, means that real physical and just dog mentality.
Well, there's good things on this. Now, our biggest issue, obviously, my worry is Zaire Franklin. Being he just started the illness today, it does not look good for him to start playing. Now he's obvious already the backup. He leads the NFL in tackles. If he doesn't play, he's going to lose that because it's really close. What do you think of Bobby walking into that spot at Mike? All right, because EJ's not a Mike. Okay.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not sure EJ is good enough in coverage to be the Will either. So it's like I understand, and I'm not trying to slight EJ, but what we've seen is he's much better in the run stopping and stuff, and that's where I'm like, man, that's you start looking behind that, and then you're getting into the question marks. You're JJ Doman, and it's like, fellas, who wants to step up? Next man, just we have an opening here. Please show up. So yeah, some of these questionables are concerning for sure.
Yeah, we talked about all year. Oh, our depth at linebacker is so great. It's a good thing we got depth at linebacker because it's looking really thin now. With injuries and illnesses and things of that nature. I am happy that we pretty much have a full go across our offensive line because we are going to need it. Now, obviously, Dennis Kelly, again, he full practice today, so he's back, which is good to be the backup over in my opinion, Matt Pryor, who had full practice all week. I'd say Pryor is, behind Kelly in this situation when it comes to backing up tackles right now. But having that healthy offensive line right now is going to be really important because there's 3 guys on this Pittsburgh defense that are absolutely studs, okay? 3 guys, all right? You got Alex Highsmith, the right outside linebacker, who's really had a come-out year this year. Now that, because TJ's been out, Cam Hayward up the middle, very, very solid. They did pick up Larry Ogunjobi from Cincinnati, but he's not been that guy that they expected him to be. But TJ Watt is back. Okay. Yes. He just had a pick last week. All right. So they got some serious pressure. how important will it be for the Indianapolis Colts offensive line to look better than they did last week against Monday Night Football Pittsburgh Steelers and their pass rush?
Yeah, I mean, you're not kidding, because you said to okay, we'll start with the elephant in the room. TJ Watt is back, like you said. And I mean, it's not, oh, he's back. No, he's back. You know, I mean, he's healthy. He bring that energy. And fortunately for us, you look at Braden Smith, it's like, okay, Braden, bring your A game. Let's see what that battle looks like. But then you sit there and think about him on stunts and stuff. And now you're looking at TJ on fries, and it's like, oh man, you know, that makes me nervous, you know. And then you sit there and you go,
Don't make me as nervous.
oh man, I'll tell you right now, I think TJ gets inside, because I seen twice last week where Will was giving up the inside, and you do not want to give the inside up to TJ. He will just take that all day long, you know. And the thing is, then you, like you said, you slide a little bit over, and you got Cam Hayward, who quietly is one of my, you know, he's one of my in that elite dude, you know. I mean, he makes Quentin Nelson and Ryan Kelly. He's going to be a tall task for them. And then there again, when he goes to stunt outside, we saw a couple times last week against the Bengals where he was really that's now you're putting him on Ryman, and it's like, oh man, stay inside, you know. Ryan Kelly. To me, he's the big. Ryan Kelly has to have one of his best games of the season. If he does that, this offense will go a lot further, because like I said, you're already worried about the two young bucks. But Ryan Kelly, he's just really going to have to play super solid, because he's going to find himself in some one-on-ones with Hayward, and that's not advantageous. And I haven't even spoke about, like you said, Highsmith. He leads the team in sacks. You know what I mean? You know, and man, he's got some quick moves. You know, I've seen a clip going around, you know, with that nasty spin move that we come accustomed to seeing with Dwight Freeney, and I mean, man, he hits that thing and it just looks sweet, you know.
And he's on Ryman for a rookie, so
yeah. I mean, like I said, this front really presents some problems, and it's like this offensive line, I want to have one of their. I mean, we need it to be close to what stat wise, we need to, you know, try to accomplish the Raiders type of offensive line, and I just don't know if they got it, you know, because every time you start seeing a little bit of glimmer or something, then all of a sudden you see the ugly warts and stuff show up. So very interesting to see who shows up in this big prime time stage.
Absolutely. But like I said about TJ Watt, I mean, he's strong, but his big thing is speed and technique. Right? Speed and technique. Mm-hmm. And if he cuts inside, I have no problem with Fries on him, because Fries, his biggest issue, in all honesty, in my opinion, is handling that hardcore big dog bull rushes. You know what I mean? Yep. That's what scared. The fact that, you know, he's got a head on a swivel, able to pick up, you know, Fries can pick up stunts pretty good, which I don't have a problem with that. Now, obviously, he's going to have to step his game up and play better against technique, because, you know, TJ is very good at technique too. But yeah, that side over there, if there's anything that Braden Smith has had problems with against in his past, it's always been speed edge rushers. All right. That has been his biggest Achilles heel, right? I hate saying that on, you know, we're talking about Colts football, because good Lord, we already know all about that. But I think we'll do okay. What scares me more is Kylan Granson. All right. He's been a stud, not only receiving the ball, but blocking. Okay. Especially in the run game. He has been a fabulous blocker in the run game. Now, he has not practiced all week, which makes me think he's got 2 days to get ready. And get up and get healthy. Hopefully he can do that, right? Because we absolutely are going to need him, because we don't have any other tight end that's really stepped up. Mo hasn't really stepped up too much, and you know, Woods is still you know, dealing with the shoulder. He had all full practice, and it looks like he will be playing, but still, you know.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's where you, in my opinion, that's where you want to attack this Steelers defense is in its linebacking core. I mean, yeah, Joe's always going on there, in the Discord about Devin Bush and this linebacking core. And the thing is, you get Jelani coming across, or like to your point, Kylan Granson, Paris Campbell. These are guys that you really want to sit there and test that middle with. And honestly, I could see with all the question marks that the Steeler defense has at the cornerback spot, and then the I don't want to call it weak play, but the below average play that they've gotten from their linebacker spot. I really would love to sit there and see this team be much more of a pass first, set the run up with the pass, because the Steelers defense as far as run stopping is still they're legit. They're still one of the top 5 teams in the league. I think it was third. Sorry, I don't quote me on that one, but I mean, you just this you're definitely wanting to attack this cornerback room, because it's been a lot of people, basically like the Colts O-line has. They're doing the same thing back in their secondary.
Yeah, I'm going to have to disagree with where's it at? Basil here. From the film that I've looked at, yeah, Granson's been really good at blocking this year. Like over the last 4 to 6 weeks, he's really put some lumber down. All right. He's been wiping people out, holding on to the blocks long as he needs to, things of that nature. He's been really, really good at blocking. He came in out of college, one of the better blocking tight ends for a receiver. He was decent, and you've seen effort. And that's what made me think Kylan was going to be a good blocker, because he put out effort. His technique wasn't great, but he put the effort. And because he was putting effort, I knew that he would learn, in the NFL level, because, the coaches would definitely get into that.
Yeah, especially when you're setting that bar to what we've seen from Mo Cox, because Mo has been subpar at the blocking, which is something we were really relying on this year, And no, I'm not saying that he's not Jack. No, I didn't expect him to be Jack Doyle, but I did expect him to be more of a people mover. And I'll tell you right now, there was 1 or 2 blocks, and even in the live game reaction where I was just like, Kylan Granson just coming in and just, literally putting the wham back in the wham block. It was just like, there you go. And to your point, Lawrence, he has really started improving that aspect of his game. And quite honestly, maybe part of the reason he's on this injury list, because he was sacrificing all for the team in some of these blocks.
All right. Mason Swank jumps in. No Fitzpatrick picks again, please. He gets at least one the last 2 times that we played against him. And that's an issue. But I'm just going to say their secondary outside of him isn't what I would say great, especially with Akella Witherspoon out, who's the starting corner that they picked up from Seattle. The guy that's replacing him is Levi Wallace, okay? The Colts torched him last year, okay, in Buffalo. And then they've got Arthur Mollett. You guys might know him. And then Cam Sutton. All right, those are their corners. And you got Terrell Edmonds and Minka Fitzpatrick at safeties.
Yeah.
I think this is a week. If we can hold down the fort, give Matt Ryan 2 seconds to find someone and throw to, I think the Colts could really do some damage in the air.
Yeah. Like I said, I want 4. I'm greedy. I want 4 seconds. All right, just that's my baseline. But to your point, hit some of those deeper crossing routes and stuff, and start just And I know this is what we're saying every week: the offensive line, But to be honest, guys, that's this game. When you look at matchups, and to me, that could be game, set, match. However that plays out, and more importantly, for the Colts on the offensive side versus that Steelers front, because to your point, the secondary, especially at quarterback, it's just been a revolving door due to injury and just not producing and stuff. And yeah, Fitzpatrick's he's a stud out there. Edmonds, Edmonds, I'd still like to see a little more from next week, not this week, next week and stuff. But, he's a solid. But like I said, you can hit Paris Campbell on some of those deep crossers. He catches it and can pull away from Edmonds or Fitzpatrick, and so, yeah, I would love to see Michael Pittman Jr. come in, set the tone early, and then just watch Paris Campbell and Alec Pierce, and then that way you may not have to rely as much on the tight ends because we don't know if it's Jelani and how good he's feeling, or if it's Kylan Granson and how much wind and because you guys know sometimes you get this cold and it takes you a day or two. You feel better, but you still are having trouble catching your breath and stuff, especially under the football requirements.
Absolutely. Well, since we have a Monday night football game, I am seriously thinking about doing a live stream play-by-play this Sunday. Whether Loyalist wants to join me or not, we'll see. Because I'm just now bringing this up live to you guys. At the
Live
end of the
reaction.
show, at the end of the show today, here in about 20 minutes, I'm going to ask you guys, which game would you like us to do? I will list all of tomorrow's games, and we'll see which one you guys want us to do the live game reaction to. But until then, I just want to take a moment here and let you guys see some of the ads. Don't forget, smash that like button, hit subscribe if you're not subscribed, and tag that notification bell. All right. We appreciate you guys a ton. If you guys want to support us in any other way, obviously the donations tab is awesome and available. We got a merch shop and other ways as well, like here. This video is sponsored by Newsbreak. Newsbreak is an app used over 1.5 billion times a month by people just like you to get local news via articles or videos by those who are focused on that specific area. People like myself. Just use the link in the description of this video to download it. Then search a city, state, or someone specific, like myself, Colts Law. Then make sure to follow them so you'll get all the news fresh as it comes out. This channel is proudly sponsored by the Backroom Collection. They do beautiful sports canvas art with football, basketball, baseball, and other sports themes. Special orders are accepted and autograph pieces are available. Many Indianapolis Colts signed pieces will be available beginning in November. Just use your discount code CL10 to purchase the pieces you want to spice up your living area. That's CL10. What's going on, guys? All right, so the Indianapolis Colts, still a top 5 defense when it comes to yardage. One of the best in the NFL also when it comes to points per game. It's just what it is, What scares you the most about this Pittsburgh offense?
I gotta say number 14. Number 14 he's been coming out and playing some real, grown man football. He is really good at those 50-50. He's seems to be getting open pretty decently, throughout the year. And if Kenny, those are the plays where you want to see Kenny Pickett get under pressure, under duress, because Pickens, he's a very talented young receiver. I remember watching him pre-draft go, man, I'd like to have him if it was just there wasn't some of those flags. And I'll tell you right now, he's put a lot of that conversation to rest, I think, with this year.
Okay. All right. Let's flip the script. I'm going to tell you right now, the number one thing the Indianapolis Colts need to get going in this game is the run game. Okay, period. All right. You think, oh, Pittsburgh's got this great defense. They're a good pass rush. They have the worst rushing defense in football. They're giving up 5 yards per carry. 5. Utilize that. Utilize our run game. Utilize everything. And this is a situation where the Colts are getting 4 or more yards per carry through the first quarter. Continue feeding the football, right? I don't care. I want to see TJ and Highsmith and all them sucking air in the fourth quarter. All right. I want to see, we talk about this over and over and over, how we haven't been able to finish games. All right. Well, if you put yourself in a situation where you can finish a game, then maybe you can. Keep your offense on the field. Notice when the Colts offense is on the field more than the defense, it seems like the defense is able to close games out. All right. That's how we won in those situations. I want to be able to give Stephon Gilmore, Kenny Moore, Rodney McLeod, guys like that. I want to give DeForest Buckner, Grover Stewart all the time they need on the sideline so they can be 100% ready, with 4 minutes left in the game to go, all right, we can go out here and put this game away.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Let some of those guys have been fighting this illness, especially on the defensive side. Let them catch that extra blow and stuff. And I just, JT, my guy, I've never thought this was a problem for you, but I'm starting to get a little concerned with the ball security. So, if we're running the ball more, he's got to protect that rock a little better. 3 fumbles this year. That's the first one you're like, okay, get it. And I even understand, all the craziness of that last one this last weekend, but we can't do it. We're not good enough to keep giving the ball up to the opponent, especially when we're driving and moving this thing. I mean, gosh darn it, you had the first down, run the ball, throw the ball. I feel like there could be a good balance of it, and set one working off the other, but either way, we've got to protect it. We've got to sit there and cherish that thing and quit killing ourselves with it. I mean, another game that, we let slip away as the Colts, I just cannot do that against this Steelers team at all.
And what's funny is you're talking about turnovers, right, on the offense. And the strange thing is Matt Ryan hasn't had a hand in any of them. All of both games, Matt Ryan has not turned the football over. Mm-hmm. It's been, fumbles by receivers, fumbles by, Jonathan Taylor. Now, that fumble on Jonathan Taylor, I'm not going to put on him too much because he was standing upright and was being pushed back and forth for 10 yards. For 10 stinking yards, he was completely surrounded and in this mass, I could see defensive tackles just grabbing arms and pulling it open, I mean, there's not a lot you can do about it when you got 3 defensive guys grabbing an arm and pulling on it. That's why we were moving the football, because the offense was pushing him and the defense was like, now give us the ball, because they were in trouble and they knew that the Colts scored that drive. Game was really seriously in trouble for the Philadelphia Eagles. So,
I get that, but man, I don't care. I mean, I totally agree that it's a tough situation to be in, but big arms. He's got big arms. I don't know. Sticking up his jersey. I don't care.
1 versus 3 is not. It doesn't matter who you are. I don't care if you're the arm wrestling champion of the world.
But we cannot. I mean, we just cannot. That's bottom line. We just cannot turn the ball over. This offense has been producing and doing some things that is just. Let's finish it off. Let's get in the daggone end zone. Honestly, if we could break 20 points, this Steelers team is going to have a hard time beating us, because I don't know that they can hang more than 20 on our offense, or on our defense, because our defense is that good and have been playing that good. So, we got to keep Najee at bay, but just gosh darn it, finish some of these drives off with possession of the ball in the end zone, please.
Absolutely. Hey, this is a great question. Mason Swank. It's not really a question, it's a comment, but it's a question that it's something I'm going to turn into a question. Since I hope Paris will decide to stay with the Colts if they offer him a contract. Loyalist, I have a big question for you. Has he earned it yet?
Like I told you guys, I've been very pleased with it. The question is now, where's that dollar amount? Where's the zero? Where's that decimal point? For me, honestly, term, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, 2 years, 1 year, 2 years, let's just see it again. It's tough out there, and I really like mentally what Paris has shown this year, because he's shown that these injuries, even though it's just been a rough start to his career, he's not letting it dictate him. He really is achieving what we all hope to see. Granted, in small portions, but I don't put that all on Paris. I put, like I said, Matt Ryan not be able to get the ball to him and stuff. But yeah, I'm very pleased with what I've seen from Paris. Now the question is what is he wanting and what are other teams willing to offer him?
Absolutely. Guys, there's 16 likes right now. I would really appreciate, we got 32 people in here. If you haven't hit the like button, go ahead and hit it. If you have, lay off. You could use that share button that's below Loyalist. Share it to your favorite social media, whether it's YouTube or Twitter or something. Help us get out there. This past week has been absolutely awful for Colts content. I don't know about everybody else's, but mine, I'm lucky to get 200 views on any of my videos. It's weird. Even my film room from the Eagles, about our defense about how good our defense was playing, did not do well. It's like 600 views. I'm used to seeing 2, 3, 4, 5,000. So this is very odd. So guys, help share this out. I'd appreciate it a ton. Me personally, when it comes to Paris Campbell, he's doing it, and he's right now, he's our most reliable receiver, in my opinion, on the field, even over Michael Pittman Jr. thus far, someone that everybody's been able to go to. He did have that drop last week along the sideline where, he caught it, came up his knee. He hit that knee up on purpose too, because,
Just helps secure the ball. It just
unfortunately hit the ball.
Yeah.
Right. But to me, I think Paris is doing well. If he continues to play like he's playing all year, he absolutely should get at least another year contract, right?
Yeah.
1 year, just another proof. Hey, can you do it for 2 years in a row? This is great. And we'll give you money for the next year. We'll give you, a decent little amount just as a prove it, give you $8 million or something like that for a year, just to keep you here for 1 year. Because honestly, if he stays healthy and continues doing what he's doing, he's definitely worth at least 8.
Yeah. And the thing is, and I want to, also mention this, is Paris he's doing it in all the ways you really want to see. I mean, yeah, he's making catches, he's getting first downs, he's moving the chain, and he's doing it in different ways. But then you sit and you look at the dirty work, the stuff that goes unspoken, and Paris is popped. I mean, you see Paris putting up a good, and I seen somebody in here where I'll pull this up here. It says, well, that didn't work. Try that again. It moved on me. Sorry. It says a taller TY. I'll tell you right now, TY never blocked like Paris Campbell has been blocking, and really giving those opportunities, whether it's Kylan Granson or JT or stuff. So, like I said, he is doing it at catching the ball, the things that you want to see from, the main things you want. But then you look at behind the scenes stuff. I remember early in the season, we sat there and where's Paris? But there was all this attention drawn to him and stuff, and he was drawing double teams and stuff. So he was still getting separation. It just didn't have him to get the ball to him and stuff. So, like I said, Paris has done the best with a situation that, quite honestly, isn't advantageous to a guy trying to fight for a contract.
I don't want to right guard in first or second round. If we're going to get an offensive lineman, might as well be a left tackle. I think we can get a really good guard, third, fourth round, in my opinion. I mean, a starting guard. We don't need someone that we're going to have to pay $10 billion, just saying. I mean, we're already paying so much across that offensive line. But a third, fourth round guard, the majority of the starters out there are third and fourth rounders, right? Yeah. Now, obviously, I think the quarterback of the future is something we need to lean towards this offseason. Left tackle, depending upon how Ryman finishes out, but right now, his biggest problem right now is he's getting beat on the edge at times, and obviously penalties, but penalties are inexperience. I think I don't think that's something that will linger on into the future too much.
Yeah, and me personally, I mean, if you're getting a right guard in round 1 or 2, he better just be an absolute beast. Because, like you say, you got the tackle, you've got moving up to try to get a quarterback possibly. So there's things like that. But the thing is no matter what, I still want to get left tackle competition. Even if Ryman goes out and really just continues to advance, I want another guy to just truly push this young man and just say, best man wins. And then, all of a sudden now you're elevating your left tackle play, but you're also bringing in somebody who is going to be a solid swing tackle that can play the left tackle position and maybe even, work strong at that right tackle. And right now you look at Dennis Kelly, he's about to, run through his contract. So, if you could sit there and bring in a good, solid talent at that tackle position and just let that true battle work out. And then, the Colts are going to be a winner in multiple ways that way.
Absolutely. Now something keeps flipping on me here, and I don't know what. I keep trying to get into. I had a donation, and then it keeps changing on me. So give me a moment. I'm almost there. It's frustrating.
Well, why he's doing that, guys? If you haven't, please smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Ring that notification bell. That way you're notified.
All right, Ninkowski drops $3 Canadian. What is that, like $500 US? Oh God, I'd hope so. No, but either way, I appreciate the donation. Ninkowski says, Tua Tagovailoa is the only quarterback one I want on the Colts at all. No Stroud, no Levi, none of them. To be fair, I haven't watched a lot of college this year. What are your thoughts on this comment?
I just, I don't know, honestly, about that's not what is that his younger brother? Is that what it is? Because like I said, I don't know much about him. I know I've liked a little bit of what I've seen from Levis, but it's not a finished product. Are we going to be able to get to a Stroud or a Young? Don't want Young. He's too small.
Levis.
Yeah, he's too small.
I look at that and think Levi. I apologize.
It's how we were brought up. Those were genes. But yeah, to your point, I really don't know about this young man as far as to have a comment either way.
No Stroud, not even at gunpoint. Toxic says that's hilarious. But so he used the donation link right here at the top of the. I can't even think of the word. My brain went just dead.
Top of the description
of the video. Yes. That part, the part that should just be natural coming out right now. But, I mean, how many of you have been sitting there talking and then like your brain shuts off for a second? It's like, no, dude, you need a break. I don't know what you're doing, but you need a break. All right.
We're still in holiday mode. That's what it is. We're having dreams of leftover turkey sandwiches.
Wow. All right. So which one of these guys manscaped?
Not this one.
I don't do Manscaped. I actually turned Manscaped down because their offer was pathetic, and I was not going to waste all your guys' time for the little amount that they were offering. Some people will do that and take that. I will not, so that is what it is. Toxic says Stroud really sucked today. So,
yeah. Michigan had one of their biggest wins in a minute because definitely makes the road a lot tougher for that Ohio State team.
Gardaki says Jags at Houston probably won't let us trade up. There's other teams out there, and the Jags don't need a quarterback. They're going to stick with Lawrence. I'm almost 100% sure. So I mean, he's a better prospect than all the other guys.
Yeah, and honestly, like I don't know that the Colts are going to, be able to get in the top 5, but maybe if they get somewhere in that 6 to 10 range, what I mean?
Yeah.
That's probably, especially as we were talking about earlier, more wins, the more capital it's going to take to make that happen.
Oh, wait. B-Dub says one bad game doesn't make a quarterback. You're absolutely right. Mm-hmm. Tua versus who was that? Clemson? Was it? Or was it? No. Tua versus Alabama, maybe? Who was that he played that absolutely looked awful? I mean, bad in his final year. And then same with Lawrence. Lawrence had a really bad game too, his final year. So, you're right. One game does not make a quarterback.
Yeah, you've seen Hendon Hooker. He come out and really struggled. And then turned around and got things squared away, and then unfortunately went down with that Achilles. So it's just it's so early to sit there and think about quarterbacks because, quite honestly, that there's still quite a few college football games. You don't know, knock on wood, who isn't or is going to be available due to injuries. So because I got pretty disappointed, because at least Hendon Hooker threw another name in there and put that competition for curiosity. But now it's like, where the Colts are going to end up and stuff. It's kind of depressing.
I'm not on Stroud for a completely different reason, though. I mean, you know me.
Yep.
Anyone that comes out of Ohio State University, their first 3 years is nothing but injury issues, right? And it's been that way for the last 10 years, So I'm like, no, if we're going to get somebody, I'd like to keep them around, the first few years.
Yeah, and here to White Law, this is a name I've been hearing a lot of, and I've seen a little bit on this young man. And the thing is you look at that, then you're going to have to honestly change the structure of your offensive line. You know what I mean? There's and I think there's going to need to be some of that anyhow. From the feeling that I'm getting of what the Colts are going to be looking for as far as that more of a dual threat type of running, but yet still good pocket passer quarterback.
So on this right here, we're going to make predictions, Colts-Steelers real quick. And then after that, we're going to talk about which live game we're going to do a reaction to tomorrow. Prediction for the Steelers. I'm going to tell you right now, here's my prediction. There won't be over 500 total offensive yards between both teams.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll be over 50 points.
Defenses are smoking, then. Is that what you're saying? Wow. Okay. Now I'm not. I'll tell you right now, I'm down for it, but because
I got the Colts winning.
Yeah, I like our defense there, but honestly, I'm boring. I wish I could say I trust this offensive line to help make all these things that we've been talking about possible, and to some extent, I think they will, but. Like I said, Cam Hayward, Highsmith, TJ Watt, these guys are just awesome. And so I'm going to sit there and say the Colts win. I have the Colts like 19-13. I think honestly it's going to end up being a lot of
a Thursday night football game.
Yeah, I know, and I'm not excited.
It has all the characteristic traits of a Thursday night football game.
It really does. It really does. And the question is, can the Colts offensive line help get that run game going? And how many times do we shoot ourselves? And unfortunately, these two things, it's just like that's what we're going to do. Limit that stuff, and this offense should be able to do enough to win this game. But like you said, if the defense can throw in a score or two, hey, we may need you just to run this thing all the way. I don't know what to say.
I think the Colts get at least 10 points off turnovers, at least. And one of them will be a touchdown by the defense. All right, at least one touchdown by the defense. But don't think that the Steelers can't do the exact same thing. They've been getting scoring on us on defense for years now. So I'm not expecting anything different this time because they still have that same very similar defense when it comes to the playmakers out there on the field between Watt and Minkah Fitzpatrick. So I still think there'll be over 50 points scored, and the Colts score 27. So the Colts 50 or more points, and not even 500 yards total offense. So. This is a situation where I really do feel like the Colts should come away with a win. I feel like the Colts are the better team on the field going into this game. Plus, they're at home. But really, you're going to have to find a way of getting pressure on Pickett and stopping Najee. Those are your two big things on defense. And then, of course, offense. Run the hell out of the football. And if you're going to pass the ball, pass it in spaces, have like screens and things in spaces where the rush is coming from. That way you could take advantage of an empty spot because the Steelers are a defense that is guaranteed to put 9 on the line. Not 9 in the box, 9 on the line. Okay? All of them standing up, and you have no idea what the heck you're going to do, who's going to back off into coverage, or if every single one of them's coming, because I've seen every single one of them come. So let's find that out.
Yeah, I tell you right now, either way, I just hope that we have a good showing. I mean, Monday Night Football, I really wanted to see these guys, come out and just put their best game on. Thing is that if it wasn't for the underproducing that from the offensive line, this honestly should be a two-score game. You know what I mean? I feel like, I honestly do. I feel like this offense, Matt Ryan, what we thought he'd be and stuff, but that's not the case. And that's like you said, let's get the defense to help out even more. I mean, I get it. You guys have been carrying this team. I understand, but to get that dub we may need a little bit more from them.
Absolutely. All right. So 3 games are off the table, obviously, that are already been played. Buffalo beating the Lions, which I thought the Lions were winning that game. The Cowboys beat the Giants. The stupid Dayball going forward on 4th down at his own 45 early in the game, or in the third quarter. That was dumb. Okay, that right there set the tone for the rest of the game. And then the Patriots and Vikings, where the Vikings overcome the Patriots. 1 o'clock games. Make your choice, guys. Put it in the chat for Sunday night. Which one will we do a reaction to? We got Broncos at the Panthers. We got Buccaneers at the Browns. We got the Ravens at the Jaguars. We got the Texans at the Dolphins. We got the Bears at the Jets. Please don't say Bears at Jets. Please don't say Bears at Jets. Please don't say Bears at Jets.
No.
The Bengals at the Titans. Falcons at the Commanders. That's your slate of 1 o'clockers. Okay. Then we got 4 o'clockers. We got the Chargers at the Cardinals, which could be an interesting game. The Raiders, who now got themselves out of that little issue that they had from the week, from the week before. The Seahawks at the Seahawks. We got the Rams at the Chiefs. The Saints at the Niners. And then Sunday Night Football is Green Bay at Philly. Let me know, which game do you want us? No. That's the one game I'm taking off the table, all right? I'm just saying. Okay, hey, whoa, we got another one here. Sorry, guys. Here we go. Now we got another one from Ninkowski. Says, are we tanking? Better off tanking than hiring Eric Bieniemy and going 3-14. Just kidding. Now we are winners as an organization. That's a joke. That's a joke because he wants to win. He wants Saturday to be the head coach, if I remember correctly, at the end of the year.
Absolutely.
So, and right now, I don't have an issue with it because I like how our team looks going out there and fighting. Week after week. They didn't win last week, but they fought their butts off and probably, in my opinion, should have won. I mean, they led for 97% of the game, and then crap happens. But I'm
with the chat, by the way. That was my first and second choice. Was
the Bears and Jets?
No. The Basil here, he says, let's all Cincinnati and Tennessee. That way we can collectively root against Tennessee. And then, White Law says there's massive ramifications to the wild card. And I know it's a long shot, but we're still mathematically in that conversation. So
absolutely. Yeah. Looks like everybody is saying the Bengals at Tennessee. Looks like that's the game that we'll be looking at. It is a 1 o'clock game. So are you up for doing that?
That I will have to sit there and find out what plan. It's a holiday weekend still, so I'm at the beck end of. I've got family still hanging out here and stuff, so we're just flying by the seat of our pants right now.
Okay, all right. Well, so at that point, we will be here. Whether or not Loyalist is here, I don't know. Hopefully I can get Brandon in here. I'm sure he will. He's pretty good about that. Guys, 23 likes so far. We're getting ready to kick this out. If you haven't hit that like, please do so. Thank you, Ninkovsky, for both your donations. We appreciate that a ton. And until next time, so no Bears, Jets. Deep, come on, dude. Anyhow, I'm Lawrence Owen. That's Colts Loyalist. And as usual, I want you. Have a good one.
Just because a player's not a household name doesn't mean we can't make him a household name.
Why not Bears, Jets, you ask? We're already going to have a Thursday night football look-alike game on Monday night football. I don't want to do 2 in a row. Have a good one.